Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you tonight is a pretty disturbing pattern that I'm catching up. Have you guys noticed that every time that there's some sort of horrendous crime, there's always an influx of high school students who have no ability to drive, orchestrate, financial capability, showing up at state capitol houses with pre-printed signs and logistics and all that. You notice that? Because we've seen it in a few states now. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I'm about to show you the people who are manipulating our children, and that's exactly what they're doing. Of course, make sure I hear you in the comments on this one. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell. And this content today is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. The content today is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. And brothers and sisters, with everything popping off around the world, wars cracking off. We've got inflation issues. We've got stock market volatility. We have cash concerns. We have oil concerns. It's a good time to take a look and at least know your options with American Hartford Gold. They are dedicated to offering gold, silver, platinum, coins, and bars for your investing needs. Whether you want to do it delivered to your door or you want an IRA, Roth IRA, 401k, TSP, they've got options. This is something you guys should check out. At American Hartford Gold, they aim to educate clients about investments in the precious metal industry, strive to provide unparalleled customer service built on trust, integrity, and absolute transparency, while holding a goal of achieving 100% customer satisfaction. Click the link in the description or call 844-727-3199. That's 844-727-3199 or text Langley to 65532. Again, that's 844-727-3199 or text Langley to 65532. All right, my brothers and sisters, we have got to dive into this because, like I said, you guys know I love me some patterns. I also love me a good backfire, but this is a pattern-specific video. Let me show you what I'm catching up and you guys tell me in the comments if you agree or if I'm just making something up. Iowa school students walk out of class to protest gun violence after Perry shooting. Now, of course, this is in the tragedy that happened in Iowa. Nothing to note there about any of the details, other than the fact that there was a gun involved. No, can't talk about any of that stuff. But anyway, let me show you the pictures, and you tell me when this starts to look very oddly familiar to like places like Tennessee, Florida, you know. All right, let's just keep going. We've got one with pre-printed signs. Again, freshmen and ninth graders who cannot drive, by the way, on their own. A stack of pre-printed signs with bullhorns and adults in fire department gear. Some more pre-printed signs, which oddly enough have nothing to do with gun violence that they're supposed to be protesting. A woman's place is in the resistance. Dissent is patriotic. That sounds familiar. That's a mainline Democrat talking point. And I stand with Perry. Isn't that interesting how this theme keeps on popping up? Actions speak louder than words, pre-printed in the Everytown print. Let's see. We got not one more, rise up. We got a couple more of these. And again, all these students can't drive. And wouldn't you know it, look who's at the podium. March for Our Lives. This is Davy Hogg's group. This is the group that is extreme. It started out talking to college students, and now all of a sudden it's manipulating high schoolers into utilizing tragedy to go to the state houses so they get a manipulated talking point in a photo op like this. See what I'm talking about? All right, and this last one. Look at that. If guns were regulated the same as cars, do you think these are high schoolers coming up with these bullet points that happen to be identical to the mainline gun control talking points from Everytown for Gun Safety, Moms Demand Action, March for Our Lives? You think it's just a coincidence? Again, I would like to bring forward that the only way this is possible is, and all look the same with all the same pre-printed signs, is if someone's talking to school board administrators and other things of that nature to get these things to happen. All right, anyway, maybe I'm spitting into the wind. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe this is natural and organic. In the wake of January 4th deadly shooting at Perry High School, students across Iowa are walking out of class today to protest what they say is lawmakers' inaction on gun violence. Next sentence. March for Our Lives, Iowa, a nonpartisan Davy Hogg's group, the people who leave coffins on the mall in Washington, D.C., they're nonpartisan. Okay. A nonpartisan group that works to encourage young people to become involved in politics began organizing the statewide walkout hours after police say the incident occurred. Hours. Fatally shot an 11-year-old, which is terrible, of course, and wounded several people, all of which we have openly said this is horrible. But now, going back to the manipulation point, mainline Democrats are getting involved in this. Look, Representative Akko Abdul Samad, Democrat, Des Moines, reminded rally attendees that community activists have been working to prevent gun violence for decades and that the struggle is ongoing. Quote, "A lot of us have been fighting this fight before some of you were even born," he said. "A lot of us have been fighting this fight because we didn't want you to go through what you're going through now." Really? Okay. Let's continue some other things that he did here, because this is totally normal. Again, all organic. This is not weird at all. Abdul Samad brought a baby stroller up to the podium. 8-month-old Teddy, brought to the rally by his grandmother, peered out toward the crowd. An 8-month-old. Quote, "Now you are the shoulders that Teddy is going to stand on," Abdul Samad said, sitting politician. Quote, "You are going to do this because you don't want Teddy to have to be in school and not be safe." Holy balls. These guys are taking infants in front of manipulated high school students who were logistically set up and motivated by Everytown for Gun Safety, by March for Our Lives, who utilizes Everytown for Gun Safety bullet points and pre-printed materials, and saying, you're going to do this because you're not going to let this child go through what you're going through. This is bordering on creepy. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You need to send this stuff out to show you what they're doing, to show others what they're doing. But I've got more for you. Leaders of March for Our Lives Iowa led a crowd of around 300 students, activists, lawmakers, and supporters in chants of "No more silence in gun violence" and "Enough is enough" that echoed through the Iowa Capitol Rotunda Monday afternoon. Does this sound vaguely familiar to Tennessee? Does it sound like their play is to manipulate high schoolers who have not fully developed their thought processes, have not fully even thought about politics, have not even thought about the next step about what they're doing next week, but they're being manipulated by a national organization led by Davy Hogg in order to get them for a photo op to further propagate their funding donations? Anything? And then you got Democratic politicians who take 8-month-olds and say, you guys, talking to high schoolers, are all going to do this so he doesn't have to deal with this, putting that emotional weight on freshmen in high school. Not pieces of filth at all. Anyway, one more thing for you, because I think this is a very important piece, because again, March for Our Lives keeps popping up. Trey Jackson, Legislative Affairs Director for March for Our Lives Iowa, called on Iowa lawmakers to pass new gun laws. Quote, "Now it is time for our representatives to be held accountable for their actions. It is time to say enough is enough," he said. "We must pass extreme risk protection laws." Wouldn't have applied in this case because it was a minor. "We must close misdemeanor loopholes." Would not have occurred in this case. "We must mandate the reporting of lost or stolen firearms," unrelated. "And we must stop the ghost guns fueling our underground gun market." What are you even talking about? Everything that I just highlighted was a bunch of adults manipulating high schoolers, using babies as props, organizing logistical efforts to get them all to the same place, 300 of them, if you're not even including students. It's about about a couple dozen students. And then using Democrat politicians to feed them propagandistic lines like that when their brains are still not fully formed. You tell me who's on the wrong side here. And all the while, March for Our Lives is sitting there getting the photo op and the fundraising opportunity. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.